Hi yogis, we are on practice 5 of the Mindfulness Intentions series. So I hope you've enjoyed us thus far. If you're popping in here for just a session of a good practice for yourself, welcome wherever this may find you. Today our word and our intention of focus is strength. So we'll be hitting it kind of hard here with our yoga postures, but also really thinking about strength of mind, as well as strength of body. So we can think about strength of being able to stay on the mat in the present moment with our strength of our intention. We can think about the strength of the muscles that we use. We can think about the connection of the two, so how we use the mind to move the muscles. And then hopefully we can take that off the mat as we move throughout our day, using that strength we've built in our practice for thinking about how we can approach the day, thinking about the confidence that we're gaining as we emotionally and physically improve our capacity. So as we begin our practice, the quote for our intention today comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. With the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts. So may this practice be a time for you to reflect on that, a time to turn to the inner strength that you have. I invite you now to close your eyes or lower the gaze. And bring the attention to the breath. Noticing the gentle inhales and exhales. Beginning to slow the mind from whatever has come before this, and whatever may come after. As we sit with the breath, we begin to think about the strength within. Maybe it's the more tangible kind where we notice what muscles are activating for us to stay in this seated position. The lifting of the crown of the head to have a nice tall spine. Maybe noticing when you roll those shoulder blades down and in, what muscles activate throughout the core and the scapular space. Maybe we also notice if we had a really good workout or something yesterday, or working out in the yard, and some muscles that are sore. Appreciating those aspects of what we might have brought into the practice from other strengthening behaviors in our lives. And then I encourage you to think more about the not as tangible inner strength that you possess. Maybe thinking of a situation where you held strong to your values. Maybe thinking about a moment of confidence that you've had in the past. Or maybe it's even thinking to the future. Maybe there's something ahead of you today that you'd like to imagine how you're going to tackle that situation. With confidence, with empathy. Really using that inner strength for goodwill, compassion. One more time before we begin our movement of the practice, I'm going to read the quote really sit with. With the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts. With the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts. If we chose to close the eyes or lower the gaze, I invite you to open them. And as we inhale, lifting the arms up, exhaling to heart center. Good. Today we're going to start, we're going to come into child's pose. So we spin those legs behind us. I encourage you to have knees a little bit wider. That allows for better breathing, at least for me, but please play with whatever works for you. We stretch those arms out in front of us and we lower the head down. Enjoying the breath here, really breathing into that back rib space, almost imagining the ribs expanding and then contracting. Good, and then from here we bring that left elbow into center and we take the right hand behind. We keep lumbar spine locked in and we open up thoracic. Exhaling, we lower. We place right arm center, left hand comes to sacrum, and we open the left side. Maybe the strength we notice here is that we're using that right arm for support, and we're really using it to help us open into that rotation of the left shoulder. And we exhale, lower. We stretch those hands back out in front of us in child. And then as we exhale, we shift forward into kneeling plank. We may adjust the knees so they come to be hip width apart, tucking shoulder blades down and abdominals engaged. We inhale, slide back. As we exhale, we come forward and we really begin to move with the breath here. Coming into plank pose from child, really warming up the arms, warming up that core. And then from plank, we come in lower into chaturanga. So we shift forward, keeping elbows and wrists supported. And then we come back to plank and back to child. All the time moving with the breath. So your pace might be different than mine, or if you're doing it with someone else. And then we add the third component. So we come forward into plank. We lower into chaturanga. We can choose cobra or upward dog. I'll choose cobra. In cobra, feet are planted flat on the mat. Upper body lifts, strengthening those postural muscles. Hands replace, pushing back up to plank and back to child's. We can stay in our kneeling postures here, or we can move to full. So I'll finish my kneeling flow and then I'll demonstrate full for us. Good. So we come back to child's. We shift forward, we lift those knees, coming into full plank, lowering down to chaturanga, and then we rise to upward dog, pressing through the tops of the feet. We lower the knees and we come back to child's. Good, we do 3 flows here, whichever suits our practice. Combination there. And then after our 3 flows, we'll meet in child's. And we come back to child, really breathing into the posture. And then we shift that weight back forward. We tuck the toes, lifting up into downward dog. First downward dog of the day, maybe pedaling out the heels, really lifting the hips up to the sky. And coming back to neutral. Continuing with that abdominal work and arm work, we inhale, lift the right leg. As we exhale, we pull right elbow, or right knee to right elbow. Inhaling, we lift. Exhaling, right knee to left elbow. Inhaling, we lift. Right knee to nose, pulling that knee in. Lifting the leg back up and returning to the mat. Whew. Then continuing with the breath, inhaling, lifting the left leg. Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling the right. Left knee to right elbow. Inhaling the left. Left knee to nose. Inhaling up. Lowering that leg. Bending the knees. Slowly walking the hands back to the feet. Coming into forward fold, knees are gently bent, head is hanging down. We place our block or our hand center. Our block and our hand center. Opening the right side. Breathing into the posture. Exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lowering. Block to the side. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling. Heart center. Good. Inhaling, the arms lift. Exhaling, we fold. Inhaling, coming up halfway. Really strong posture here. So hamstrings are engaged, glutes are engaged, core is engaged to support the flat back. We exhale, lower. We walk the hands to the top of the mat, coming into plank, shifting forward, elbows tight to chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting the right leg. Exhaling, pulling it through. Staying lifted for crescent lunge with that back left leg. We can stay here, or we inhale, lower the left, exhale, rise. Good. For a series of 5 breaths, we hold static, or you can pulse with that back left knee. Good. We rise back to the top. We step the left foot forward, coming into chair pose. We shift left, step that right foot back, coming into crescent lunge. Inhaling, lowering if we're choosing, for a series of 5. I think I might have lost count there. Good. We come back to our crescent lunge. We step that right foot forward, coming into chair pose. Shift the weight to the right, stepping the left foot back, coming back into crescent lunge. And for another series of 5. Good. We step that left foot back, coming back into chair pose, shifting left. Really tucking shoulder blades down and into. We think a lot about our legs in crescent, but making sure those arms are nice and strong and active. 3. Good. This time hands come down to the mat. We step the left foot back, coming into plank, shifting forward, lowering to chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Taking a moment here in our downward dog, lifting those hips. Tightening the tummy, bending the knees, slowly walking the hands back to the feet. Inhaling here. Exhaling, chair pose. Good. We can stay here. We can come into balancing chair. So coming up onto those toes. Connecting with the breath. Good. And we're ready. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, coming up halfway. Exhaling, lowering. Walking those hands back to the top of the mat. Coming into plank, shifting forward, lowering to chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting the right leg. Exhaling, bringing right knee to right elbow. Inhaling, lifting. Right knee to left elbow. Inhaling, lifting. Right knee to nose, pulling that knee in. And then pulling the foot forward, placing the left heel down, rising up, warrior one. Opening to warrior two. Straightening the front right leg, turning to the long edge of the mat. Arms are up, reaching to opposite corners. As we inhale, elbows pull to the side, exhale, rise. Moonflowers. Again, arms are nice and strong here, so we think about moving them through water. So they're as active as our legs. Abdominal muscles are tight. Really supporting the back. One more breath. Rising back to the top. We turn back to our warrior two posture. We turn the right hand up, reach forward, coming back to reverse warrior. We come back to warrior two. Back to warrior one. Hands come down to the mat, lifting the left heel, sliding the right foot back, moving through our flow. Back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting the left leg. Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling, left knee. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Inhaling, lifting. Left knee to nose, pulling that knee in. And then driving that foot forward, placing that right heel down, coming up to warrior one on our left. Opening up to warrior two, tucking the shoulder blades down and in. Straightening that left knee, coming to the long edge of our mat. Adjusting our feet as we need, arms up nice and open. We can stay with moonflowers or we can come into sunflowers. So we sit and then we swoop forward, opening up those hips even more. Always exhaling as we rise. One more breath. And we come back to our warrior two posture, turning that left foot back, forward, adjusting the back right. Turning the left hand up, reaching forward, coming back to reverse warrior. Coming back to warrior two. Squeezing that left glute as my knee was sneaking in. And warrior one. Hands come down to the mat, lifting the right heel, sliding the left foot back. Shifting forward, lowering into chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Bending the knees, tightening the tummy, and walking the hands back toward the feet. Take a moment here in our forward fold, really allowing the head to relax. We inhale here. Exhale, chair pose. Good. We can stay in our traditional chair. We can bring hands down to heart center. Taking left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Exhaling, center. And right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Exhaling, back center, and rising mountain. Again, rolling shoulder blades down and in nice and strong. Glutes are active, core is active. Maybe closing the eyes here for a moment in a really strong mountain. And again, bringing that attention to the inner strength. Appreciating that our bodies and muscles just moved us through those power postures. Recognizing how much of a gift that is and how much strength it takes. Good. And we open the eyes. And as we inhale, arms lift. As we exhale, they fold. Inhaling, coming up halfway. Exhaling, they lower. Walking the hands to the top of the mat. We come into plank. We shift forward, lowering to chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting the right leg. Exhaling, right knee to the right elbow. Inhaling, lifting that right leg again. Exhaling, right knee to left elbow. Inhaling, lifting. Pulling that right knee to nose, pulling, and then pulling the right foot through. Placing the left heel down, rising up, warrior one. Opening to warrior two. Turning the right hand up, reaching forward, coming back to reverse warrior. Moving into angle pose, right elbow to right knee, left arm to the sky. Maybe taking that hand down to the mat. Maybe using our block here. Bringing the left hand down to the mat, to the instep of that right foot, coming into runner's lunge. Placing left hand center, opening up the right hand. Bringing that right hand down to the mat, powering through the right foot to bring the left foot up. Inhaling here. Exhaling, chair pose. Good, and rising mountain. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, they fold. Placing the hands firmly on the mat, we step the left foot back. We step the right foot back. Coming into plank, shifting forward, lowering to chaturanga, rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting the left foot. Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling, lifting that left foot again. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Inhaling, lifting. Left knee to nose. Pulling that knee through. And then pulling the foot through. Using our hand here if we need. We place the right heel down, rising up, warrior one. Opening up, warrior two. Turning the left hand, reaching forward and back to reverse warrior. Bringing that left elbow to left knee, reaching the arm to the sky. Maybe slide that left arm down. You can also lift to the side. And then we bring the hands down into the instep of that left foot. Holding nice and strong. And then we place right hand center. Open left hand. Bring the left hand down to the mat. We power through the left foot, coming back into chair pose, coming back into forward fold. We inhale here. And we exhale, chair pose. Good, and we rise mountain. Nice rolling shoulder blades down and in, nice and strong. Good. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhaling, they fold. Enjoying this forward fold. Maybe shaking the head yes. And no. And yes again. We place that hand back, center, or grab our block. We open up the right side. We exhale and lower. Inhaling, we lift the left side. Really thinking about how this feels compared to the first time we did it today. And we exhale, lower. We place the hands firmly on the mat. We step the left foot back. We step the right foot back. Coming into plank, shifting forward, lowering to chaturanga and rising up to upward dog, back to downward dog. Inhaling, we lift the right foot. Exhaling, this time we pull in to pigeon pose. So beginning to wind down from our strength postures. Maybe we grab our block here. We can place that block underneath the right hip or glute. Really looking for a stretch through that right side. We can stay lifted here. We can lower down in to our pigeon. We allow the head to relax. Abdominal muscles still stay gently engaged to support the back. But we really use the breath here to breathe into that hip. And again, noticing the strength. Noticing those large muscles around the hip. Appreciating how they keep it stable, how they help us to move throughout the day. And then here we may notice the inner strength if this is a challenging posture for some of us. Holding postures that aren't exactly comfortable takes a lot of that inner strength to understand what's happening in the posture, to communicate safety back to the mind and body. And we can stay here in our pigeon, or we can come up onto the hands, reaching back for that left ankle, coming into mermaid. Again, very important here that those abdominal muscles are engaged, that TA, to not dump into the back. And then releasing the left leg. We remove the block if we've selected it. We push back up onto the hands into plank posture. And then we hold this posture for breath. And then we shift back to downward dog. Inhaling, lifting that left foot. Exhaling, pulling that left knee through. Stretching that right leg out behind us, using our block here again if that suits us. And then coming down onto the elbows or staying upright. Also, some may have their arms straight out in front of them. Really whatever feels best for you. And we can stay here in our pigeon, or we can reach behind, grabbing onto that right ankle. Again, being nice and tall to not dump into the back. we lower the right leg. We remove the block, and this time we sit into the left hip. We come around onto our mat, sitting at about the middle. And doing a couple abdominal exercises here and really slowing down to enjoy our last moments together in Savasana. So we sit nice and tall, feet about shoulder width apart. We shift back, abdominal muscles engaged, posture open. We can stay here, we can lift, tightening that quad, engaging glutes. Or if we'd like, we can lift both legs, coming into boat pose. And bring those feet back to the mat. We all sit tall. Maybe rounding a bit, really allowing everything to relax. If we felt that at all in our backs, maybe trying a different option, or simply coming back to reset and then leaning into the option of our choice again. So we come back to our posture again, picking feet maybe a little more narrow than hip width, but thinking about that distance. Sitting nice and tall, we engage and sit back. Good. We can stay here this time, or we can add a twist. So we would inhale, turn. Exhale, come back to center. Inhaling, turn. Exhaling back to center. We can do that with our leg raises or our double. Maybe we even use our block to guide. What we are thinking about is that those legs stay neutral center, so that we're not turning everything at the same time. Really allowing those obliques to be isolated. We do 2 more breaths. And we'll all meet feet on the mat, pulling us up into our upright posture. Again, maybe rounding here. And then I'm going to take my little sheet, because I'm going to take a lying down Savasana with you. We're going to come to the middle of our mats. We're going to slowly roll down 1 vertebra at a time to come onto the mat. Enjoying this posture, maybe gently rocking the knees side to side, finding what's neutral for us and what's comfortable. Good. And then we tighten those abdominal muscles, so almost as if we have maybe a snug pair of pants on. We can place the hands on the ASIS, or we can have them resting next to us. And as we inhale, we lift the right knee, hip to 90, knee to 90. Exhaling, we bring the left to meet it. Ending here with my favorite abdominal exercise, so intentional. We inhale, lower the right heel. Exhaling, bring back to center. Inhaling, lowering left. Exhaling back. Really moving with your breath. We do 1 more on each side, or we even ourselves out. And we all meet knees to chest. Good, and knees to chest, we can hold on to those hamstrings, or we can give ourselves a nice big hug. Maybe gently rocking side to side. And then we release the right leg to the mat. We keep that left knee to chest, and we do circles with the ankle here, going clockwise and counterclockwise. And then taking the left hand to the side, you use the right hand to gently guide that left leg over the right leg, shifting the gaze toward the left hand. Exhaling, we bring left arm, left knee back. We release that left leg down the mat and we bring the right knee to chest. Again, maybe doing circles clockwise and counterclockwise. We take the right hand to the right side and we use the left hand this time to guide that right leg. Really looking here for shoulders to stay connected. So only taking that leg as far as we're able. Shifting that gaze to the right. Exhaling that right leg back and right arm back. And we come into our final relaxation pose or savasana, where we allow the feet to drift to the side, the arms to be resting next to us, palms facing up and open. We return to our intention that we set at the beginning of the practice. Taking these last few moments to appreciate that inner strength, to appreciate the power and the support that all of our muscles and joints brought to us throughout the postures we held. And I encourage you to allow the physical body to relax, the body to sink and grow heavy into the mat. And the emotional and powerful inner strength to be embraced as we hold the stillness of our savasana. And we remember that with the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts. we come to the end of our Savasana, take a moment to express gratitude for taking this time out of our day, for that inner strength that is there with us with each and every step and breath we take. Maybe we even set an intention to, as we step off our mat, how we will acknowledge that inner strength when things come up throughout our day that encourage us to tap into it. When you're ready, beginning to wiggle toes and fingertips, reawakening the body. Bringing the knees to bent position, and then into chest. Beginning to gently rock side to side, massaging that lumbar spine. And then forward and back. And all of us coming to meet at the top. Hands at heart center. I invite you to once again close the eyes or lower the gaze, and we bring the thumbs to the forehead. And we remember that inner strength, the gifts we've been given, the love we have to share with ourselves and others. We bring our thumbs to our lips, and we remember to share words of patience and kindness with ourselves and others. We bring our thumbs to heart center. We remember to have love in our hearts for ourselves and those around us. Namaste. It was an honor to be with you today. Thank you for inviting me into your space, into your home. I hope you can continue to join us, whether it be in this series or for one of our other sessions together. Journey well.